Hi everybody, I'm Hamish McLachlan and welcome to The Real Story, brought to you by RESO. The Real Story is a series of conversations with high-performing real estate agents and industry leaders. The conversations have been had hoping to be inspirational, informative or entertaining, or maybe all three. I really hope you enjoy them. Michael Clarke is a humble country boy from Orange who's made it to the northern beaches of Sydney and in doing so become one of Australia's highest performing real estate agents. Michael shares his journey and talks about the importance of personal growth and the keys to becoming a great agent. Michael, thanks for joining us on The Real Story.
My pleasure.
Top 100 agents, the last 7 years, number 2. Who's won?
A bloke who's better than me. A bloke by the name of Alexander Phillips. He's a good fella and he deserves his number 1.
I met Steve Smith the other day, who's an agent. Michael Clarke I've now met. Is Ricky Ponting floating around?
No idea, but I am good mates with Brett Lee, so...
That'll do.
Yeah, it's a funny story, but no, I'm just happy to be here.
One of 7 kids. When you were growing up, you've said there wasn't a lot of money around, but plenty of love.
It was a big family, lots of big attitudes and things like that, but they made every one of us feel special, loved, and like we could do anything, so I couldn't have asked for more.
You're one of the best salesmen in the country now. Not always the case. In fact, you're not even the best encyclopedia salesman or woman in your family.
Yeah, well, that was a funny thing. So Dad was always an academic. He went on a thing that most people wouldn't have heard of now, Sale of the Century. And he read and summarised World Book Encyclopedia in the lead up to it. And he got all the way through right up until the final night. Unfortunately, Dad panicked and lost everything and only came home with a chandelier.
Instead of the showcase.
That's right, he had everything. He had the beamers, da-da-da-da-da. And so in desperation, my mother answered a job to sell encyclopedias. What would you know, she was a phenomenon at it. At university, because Mum and Dad couldn't afford to put me through, I wanted to stay on campus, so I studied advertising and communications by day, and I sold encyclopedias of a night time. Got ranked second, something about second. Got ranked second in the world for selling encyclopedias, beaten only by my mother. So yeah, not even the best salesperson in my family.
So you studied advertising, comms, marketing, went into the advertising game?
Yep. So I won a scholarship through the International Advertising Association over to BBDO in New York. I was a kid. It was like I was like a less intelligent, less able Crocodile Dundee over in New York. I had no clue what I was doing, and it was a big agency that I was at. They had the Pepsi accounts, Mars, M&Ms, and things like that. And I'd sit in my little thing and look at all these, actors or whoever celebrities walking past. Did that. Came back with what was considered a really good advertising CV, then won an AFA graduate traineeship, so Advertising Federation of Australia, and that was my background before changing into real estate.
So does real estate come because you're going to a Kung Fu lesson that isn't?
So around the corner from where I was at in Pyrmont, there was the Pyrmont Community Centre, and they were doing, amongst other things, Kung Fu. So I rocked up there one night, and sure enough, back then I was hopelessly disorganised, so I got the times wrong, and wandered into what was the class straight after the Kung Fu class, which was a salsa dance lesson. So I ended up getting put together, or partnered up with somebody to learn how to become a salsa dance instructor. That person was Cherie. We ended up becoming salsa dance instructors and won the Australasian Ciroc Dance Championship together. So that was a whole other thing.
And got married.
Well, yeah. So basically, Cherie could see that I wasn't particularly enjoying advertising, and so she said, "Hey, look, you should do real estate." 2 years after I joined real estate, I convinced Cherie to join me in real estate, and then 2 years after that, or 3 years after that, we married, and here we are. She's the Hummel bit of Clarke and Hummel.
And so, how does the husband and wife combination go during the work hours, and how do you go switching off, chatting about it after hours?
Yeah, look, the short answer is we love it.
Yes.
And we're a funny couple because we're very different personalities, but the big rocks, the things that we feel are really important, the morals and stuff like that, they're very much aligned.
Great partnership.
Yeah, we love it, and I'm very lucky.
Number 2 for 7 years in a row. It's an extraordinary achievement. What is the key, in your view, to being a great real estate agent?
Massive work ethic,
Yep.
And massive personal growth. I think they're the 2 key things. Hustle beats talent if talent won't hustle, or alternatively that talent is one thing, but skills is another. Yep, and growing your skill set. For the first little, maybe 18, 19 years of my life, most things came pretty easily. Unfortunately, what that meant for me was that whenever anything got a bit difficult, then I'd think, oh, bugger it, I'll switch to another talent. And I remember one of the things in year 12 that came up, a quote supposedly from me saying, I know that there's a time to have fun and there's a time to get down to work. Unfortunately, I don't know which is which. So that was very painful for me because it was absolutely accurate. And so my work ethic really didn't kick in until I was making that transition from advertising into real estate.
I understand the work ethic piece. You talk about personal growth. What do you mean by that?
People talk about personal growth being this wonderful and magical journey and What I find is that every time that I need to go through some personal growth, it's like eating a dog poo sandwich. It's not fun.
It's uncomfortable.
It's not fun. The personal growth for me initially was massive because here I was, typical, well maybe not typical, but a country kid from a poor background where the world was eating me up, and spitting me out. I got to this point in time where I thought something's got to change and the world ain't going to change, so it's got to be me. Went from being, credit cards all maxed out and all that kind of thing and just a life of struggle through to, making a few decisions, and a lot of it just had to do with not just work ethic, but also making sure that was accompanied by the ability to be able to have the self-discipline to do what you don't want to do but know you should.
So if you were telling an agent on day one, this is what needs to happen for you to be successful, what are the couple of dot points you get down to? Work ethic?
Find the best environment that you possibly can to start. If it's a learning environment, a culture of excellence, you've got to surround yourself with people who are trying to go forward and doing it in the right way as well. So I think the other thing outside work ethic and working on yourself personally, success leaves clues. And if you can be in an environment where others are also on their journey, that massively helps.
Success leaves clues. I like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
I didn't make that up. I've ripped it off from somewhere else. But
I'm going to rip it off.
There you go.
Any regrets?
Oh, look, not really a regret, but oftentimes, or routinely, I'll look at Cherie and, I'll cast my mind back to that intermediate salsa dance thing that, where we got first put together as partners, and I reflect over, if I could wind back time, I'd love to be able to look her in the eyes, knowing all the shit that I was about to go through and all the struggle, and I'd love to look her in the eyes and say, hey, sorry.
No, it's great.
It'd be great to say, hey, we're going to be fine.
And you were.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been amazing. Congratulations on the whole journey.
Thank you. Sorry, goodness.
Don't be sorry. Why would you be sorry? But this is the beauty of it all, right? It's like, it's an uncertain journey. We're not sure where we land, but look where you've landed.
Yeah, no, it's pretty. It's a pretty amazing situation to be where I am. Given the stuff, but I mean, that's the thing that makes it sweet, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it all came easy, then you wouldn't appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, mate.
Thanks for watching today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. Massive thanks to RESO. Remember, RESO, real power. RESO.com.au.